Social dialogue is at the core of democracy. I mean, that is a benefit directly to all workers, to give them a platform to be able to give their input and to help develop their companies, help develop their countries, but most of all, to create a good life for themselves.
Hemos decidido unirnos al Global Deal fundamentalmente porque una manera de ensanchar la democracia justamente es el diálogo social. La democracia se ensancha reforzando a los interlocutores sociales. Necesitamos que tanto las patronales como los sindicatos tengan una voz y una presencia fuerte.
The key elements to successful social partnership is that government can hear from the diverse partners throughout the economy and can incorporate those voices into policy making.
I'm not only optimistic about social dialogue, I think it's critical. And at Fair Trade, we see it as an important part of bringing all of the critical players together.
When we came through the pandemic, that was a moment, that was a period in time where workers and companies and employers who had dialogue, who had bargaining, workers who were represented, did so much better during COVID.
COVID-19 was a revealing factor of the importance of social dialogue because it was the proof, as I say, that in countries where this was not built and strong, the economy was suffering.
If you think about the COVID crisis first and then the cost of living crisis we're living now, to some extent our economies, our society have been confronted with some unprecedented challenges. And I think social dialogue as well has been tested to some extent.
The key word for a successful social dialogue is trust. Trust, mutual confidence, mutual respect.
When unions, when employers, when governments come together and sit together, you quite easily get over the first hinders, the first perceptions of how bad the other party is, because everybody wants a solution in the end.
On the base of trust and actually on the base of transparency. So really being frank, put the issues on the table and see how to address them. And, like in any collective agreement, any negotiation, each of the parties should give maybe something up for the overall good outcome of an agreement.
El aumento de los empleos precarios creo que tiene que ver con la capacidad que tengamos de construir caminos hacia la formalización. Y la formalización del empleo implica inventar nuevos mecanismos.
This question of the so-called gig employees, which is just another way of stripping out the rights of a worker and, increasing the informality in the economy. And I see that as contributing in a great way to inequality.
And new jobs will appear, and they will have to be good jobs, unionized jobs, good paid jobs, and we have to work together to create that.
The green transition is an excellent example of where we especially need social dialogue because this isn't about governments and it isn't about business and it isn't just about labor, but all of those parties have a stake in making sure that we are doing everything in our power to address climate change.
Tiene que haber incentivos que lleven a que tanto empleadores como trabajadores vean que el enverdecimiento del mercado de trabajo es una buena opción e incluso mejora las oportunidades de un trabajo más justo y sostenible.
I think if we don't manage well the digital and the green transformation, the risk is a further increase in inequalities.
J'ai des exemples en Belgique où les partenaires sociaux sont parvenus à un accord et donc en mettant en place un dispositif qui fait en sorte qu'un employeur, une entreprise qui fait trop appel à des contrats de courte durée, successifs pour un même travailleur, devra cotiser de manière supplémentaire pour financer la sécurité sociale et garantir des droits équivalents à tous les travailleurs.
Nous avons des accords sur les sujets d'emploi, sur les sujets d'égalité hommes-femmes, sur les sujets de prévention du risque de stress au travail, donc maintenant sur le télétravail.
in the textile and clothing industry, where we bring the brands together with the factories and the unions to create this environment of dialogue. For example, in a country like Bangladesh, we've been able to create a system of clean workplaces.
No hay nada más peligroso para las sociedades contemporáneas que el malestar social. Y creo que tenemos la obligación de mejorar las condiciones de vida y hacerlo también con una herramienta que creo que es muy sana en términos sociales, pero en términos económicos muy eficiente, que es el diálogo social.
The U.S. is really happy to join the global deal at this important moment in history, and I think these kinds of multilateral, multi-stakeholder convenings are especially important right now. The world is so fractured.
La Belgique est convaincue de l'utilité du Global Deal comme outil de promotion du dialogue social au niveau global, et notamment dans le cadre du dialogue avec les multinationales.
We decided to join Global Deal because of our own interests and because of the history of our country. The labor market belongs to all of us. The country belongs to all of us. We need to sit together and have a dialogue.
Well, I would like all governments to institutionalize social dialogue, but first and foremost, I want all governments to respect basic trade union rights, basic human rights, the right to organize, the right to bargain collectively. If you have the right to organize and the right to bargain collectively, you're the master of your own fate.